Hi, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I just did a video the other day about the Cleveland Browns, and they have the dog pound. And by the way, this is supposed to be a dog pound, not so great. But they also had an unofficial mascot known as Brownie the Elf. And I didn't pay too much attention to old Brownie the Elf, but I mentioned that I had done a video about the brownies and read the book. And I thought about sharing, like kind of resharing that video, But I looked at it and the sound quality wasn't where I'd like it to be. So I thought we could just talk about it real quick. I don't really need the football for this. When I looked up Brownie the Elf for the Cleveland Browns, people had given it like credit to a soda pop that was made in the Detroit area called Brownies, or Brownie, I forget what's called Brownies. I used to have that bottle, but I couldn't find it to show you. But I actually believe it's earlier than that, and that it comes from this character, The Adventure of a Brownie. And like they used to call these, I don't know if they were elves. I mean, this one's definitely an elf, but I think in this book it's more like the little boys. So I just thought we could look through this book because it has good pictures. Maybe we just read it. But in here they do, it says The Adventure of Brownies. And this book was printed in 1896, so this goes back pretty far. And it says, the first sentence is, there was once a little brownie who lived, where do you think he lived? In a coal cellar. So he was like a little elf brownie. I have not read this book at all, but maybe one of these days we'll look through it. Now this one I've read. This is Brownie Yearbook, copyright 1895. And what it is, it shows, I guess they are kind of, I don't think these ones, I mean, they're kind of elfy looking, but they look more like little boys. But this one is definitely like elfy looking, but they wear that hat. So I guess they're more like sprites, like like little boys who get into trouble, I think. Which would be a cute mascot. I could see that. So this one goes month by month, and it says January. Throughout the year, the Brownie Band for pleasure travels over the land. In January, when the snow lies on the hills and valleys low, and from the north the chilly breeze comes whistling through the naked trees, upon toboggans they ride for hours down the mountainside, until the broadening light of day compels them all to quit their play. And they have a picture of them pulling this guy with a monocle on a toboggan. And here they are on these big toboggans, and they're all lined up going down the mountain. And they're falling off and crashing and just trouble. Now this book is old, but it's also very well read. You can see little kid fingerprints all over it. And I know that I read it as a kid. February, when ice has coated lake and stream, and skating is the common theme, of which the youthful people speak by night and day from week to week. The brownies are not left behind, but manage well their sport to find, and keep it up till ice grows thin, and daring skaters tumble in. This February brings delight to cunning brownies every night. And they show all the brownies skating in their old style strap-on ice skates. And the sign on the lake says danger. And the brownies have fallen through the ice, and they're having to try to scamper out of the ice. March. When March arrives with sweeping gales that bend the trees and split the sails, and people have a lively chase for hats that will not keep their place, then to field the brownies bring their homemade kites and balls of string, and there for hours they run about, now holding down, now letting out, and shouting as they see them rise like birds when soaring to the skies. And they show all the brownies with their old-fashioned kites with tails, which, by the way, would be a fun project. When I was a kid, my brother and I used to make our own kites, and we'd make tails with all the things on them. We'd make them out of paper. I think it was like a strong tissue paper. I have to ask my brother. He's older than me. I'm sure I just watched him more than anything. April. When fall the drenching April showers to start the grass and bud the flowers, each cunning brownie must be spry to keep his scanty garments dry. For they know where in wood or field the friendly tree will shelter yield, and if the place should prove too small to safely hide or house them all, the brownies with a ready mind will turn to use whate'er they find. And this is April. They show all the brownies in the rain, and they have little umbrellas, and they're hidden in the hollowed out tree and under a big umbrella. And each picture says the name Palmer Cox. He seems to have drawn all these beautiful illustrations, and they are beautiful. They're really nice illustrations. And this is May, and it looks like there's a maypole. When flowers spring on every side, in gardens fair and meadows wide, the brownies quickly take the chance that's offered for a merry dance. They place the tapering pole upright, to which they fasten ribbons bright. Then 2 by 2 they run and play, and wind the ribbon as they may, until across the dewy lawn they catch the hint of coming dawn. Oh God, the idea of a dewy lawn, that's a beautiful line. Until across the dewy lawn they catch the hint of coming dawn. I like that. So they're using a maypole, and a maypole is where you have all these ribbons, and then you, usually kids, but you run in and out of each other, so the ribbons wrap around the pole. But these goofballs have gotten caught on the pole, and they're getting wrapped up in it. There's trouble. In this illustration, they are in some big kind of canoe-like boats, but they've gotten caught up on a rock. Let's see what they tell us. In sunny June, when skies are bright, and woods and waters do invite the people from their tasks away to sport themselves by night and day, the brownies are not slow to take a ride upon a pleasant lake, or follow fast by rock and tree a stream that hastens to the sea, though dangers may the band surround before the night has circled round. So the danger they have run into is a big rock and a waterfall. And they have tipped their canoe, and all the brownies are falling out down the waterfall. Which honestly is a lot like the kind of stuff when my boys were in Boy Scouts they'd get into. There was always something. Look, oh, this page has definitely seen better days here. On the corner, it's ripped completely. The binding is falling apart. Maybe I should put this up a little just to keep the binding from pushing on these pages too much. Hold on, let me grab just a little piece of towel here. Okay. When July has its visits paid, and trees afford a grateful shade, and stretched across from tree to tree, the hammocks swing above the lee, The brownies are not slow to find where people through the day reclined, and climbing in with laugh and shout, they load it down till strands give out. And then confusion does surprise each brownie that beneath it lies. Well, so they have strung up these mesh hammocks from tree to tree, and they put so many brownies in it that they broke through it, and the netting just gave way and they've fallen on their heads. Okay, carefully turn that one. August. Ooh, this looks like so much fun. I love jumping in a lake off a dock. There's something so cool about it. To swim and sport in August mild, through water may be calm. Though water may be calm or wild, gives pleasure to the brownie band who haste at night to reach the strand, that they may plunge into the wave, to swim and dive, or like a stave, to float on water to and fro, without a stir of hand or toe, and strive each other to outdo by wondrous skill and methods new. So this one, they're actually not getting in trouble at all. They're just jumping in off the dock and then swimming around. They don't seem to have a ladder. They have to climb the poles to get out. Or swim to shore. That looks so fun. They're still swimming in September. Oh, no, they're not. They fell in. Okay, let's see. In this one, it looks like they are fishing with fishing poles. September, when fish in lake and river bright at tempting bait are prone to bite, and people from the rock or boat watch bobbing corks that drift and float. The brownies also take delight and spend the mild September night in landing fish of every kind that is awake and well inclined to seize the bait that's dropped below with all the skills the brownies know. Boy, they went from being troublemakers to just having fun swimming and then having fun fishing. Oh, here's Uncle Sam Brownie. And this book's 1898. I gotta look that up. I thought that's pretty early, I think. Okay, let's see. October. Oh, what a great time of the year when the woods have all the color. I love it. When woods are tinged with all the glow, October on the woods can throw. Yeah. And game is plenty on the tree, and every kind of weapon free. The brownies imitate the way mankind does creep upon the prey, and hiding by each rock and hill, move up and down with caution still, and only stop the sport on hand when morning smiles upon the land. So they're hunting all night long? Well, that would be hard. Well, you can tell they have shot a pheasant. They have a couple of pheasants. And they're using bow and arrow and guns. Uncle Sam's got a gun. He's shooting a pheasant. This guy looks like Mr. Peanut. Okay. November. Ooh, they're sitting around a giant bonfire. Let's see what they say. November's winds are keen and cold, as brownies know who roam the wold, and have no home to which to run. But they have had their night of fun. But cunning hands are never slow to build a fire of a ruddy glow, where they can sit and toast their toes, and warm each fingertip that shows a sign of frost that brings despair to those who have no gloves to wear. Oh, poor brownies might not have gloves. So they warm their hands around the big fire. And the moon in the background. I mean, these illustrations are just really, really nice. Okay, let's see. December. Another fire, it appears. Or is it a giant meatball? It looks like a giant When comes the month that calls to mind the day so dear to all mankind, the people living west to east begin to talk about the feast that will be spread for young and old, while songs are sung and stories told. December does no less awake the thoughts of pudding or of cake, and every brownie in the band who well such dainties understand. So it's a big cake, but it does appear to be on fire. Did they accidentally set the cake on fire? They all have their spoons. Oh, they have booze. They put some kind of like, it's like a flambe. They put some kind of booze on the cake and lit it. And it's got a Christmas wreath on it, I think. But these guys are reading something. Not totally sure. And that is the Brownie yearbook. So that's my guess for where the